the worst female serial killer on the dark web. This video is all the rage on the dark web. In India, in a small village, it seems that if you keep a sweet in your hand, Renka appears, and this is the only and rare video where we can distinguish her.
If you get scared easily, never play this game. This is the stairs game, and it's not for the weak. It's a sinister ritual and is extremely dangerous, and I don't recommend playing it. But if you do, please be very careful. You can play this game anytime during the day, but it's better to do it at night. The only things you need is a blindfold and a set of stairs. And don't worry about your staircase because it doesn't matter the amount of stairs you have. To begin the game, you have to be on the lowest step and say these words out loud. I come before you today, Lucifer. Open the gates of your kingdom for me. You have to repeat those words 6 times in order to be blessed and begin the game. Now put on your blindfold and begin going up the stairs. Count every stair one by one and never forget the number you get. And then repeat it going down the stairs. Keep doing this until you have more stairs going down than up. You would then start sweating and hearing whispering voices, which means you are in the underworld. You would then hear a very creepy demonic voice from an entity asking you, what do you want? You then tell him, and then when you complete the game, you will get whatever you asked for. But here's the thing, if you fall at any point while playing this game, you will be completely stuck in the underworld forever.
These are some of the worst medical mistakes of all time. In 2007, Joseph Swain from Delaware filed a lawsuit against his doctors after a horrific surgical mix-up. An apparently botched colostomy left him urinating out of his ass and pooping from his schlong. In 2021, an 82-year-old man from Austria had the wrong leg amputated during surgery. The patient was told he would still need his other leg amputated as well. In 2012, 88-year-old Ida Maciel died after nurses accidentally injected chicken soup into her veins instead of her feeding tube. In 1847, a doctor performed an amputation so quickly that he accidentally amputated his assistant's fingers as well. Both the patient and assistant died from sepsis, while a spectator apparently died from shock. This resulted in the only known procedure with a 300% mortality rate. A British Marine had a leg tattoo of Liverpool's motto, "You'll never walk alone." But after a major injury in Afghanistan, that leg was amputated, and the surgeon had to cut the tattoo, so it now read, "You'll never walk."
Maggie and her friend are followed back home by a stranger when this was captured.
Maggie? Maggie? Oh my god. Maggie? Who is the fuck? Oh my god. Did he just move? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Is he out there? Do you see anything? No, I don't see anything. Her clock closer. It looked like it turned and walked away. The only place it could have gone is through this. Oh my god.
I think the world is what we make of it. So the energy that we put out will get in return.
Videos that you need to see.
This is what an earthquake sounds like from underwater. Listen to this. Imagine just hearing that while spearfishing. Now the real question, would you rather see a shark while spearfishing or experience that?
This woman created some of the worst videos on the internet. This is Ashley Richards from Houston, Texas. In 2015, she pleaded guilty to 4 counts of producing and 1 count of distributing these disturbing videos I'm about to explain to you. This all started in 2012 when the group PETA, or the group known as the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, contacted the Houston police about a video they had found online. This film was titled Ebony Kill Cat, and it depicted extremely sadistic and cruel acts being forced upon a kitten. So the police got in contact with the people from PETA, and they then sent them an additional 20 videos. These videos depicted the sadistic torture of various animals, including kittens, a fish, pigeons, crayfish, mice, and a rabbit, all being tortured with different things like high heels, knives, screwdrivers, and also pliers. In the videos, the woman that appeared in them was wearing a Mardi Gras style mask, and she would talk suggestively to the people watching this torture, meaning that there were people actually out there paying to watch this sadistic stuff happening, and also paying the woman to produce these horrific videos. And the worst part about these videos is that she would urinate and slowly torture and chop up live dogs, cats, rabbits, and mice. Absolutely inhumane stuff. Eventually, the police would track Ashley's IP address, which led them to her suburban home in Houston. This then led them to Brent Justice, who were the 2 people producing these horrible videos and selling them on a website online. And Congress had recently passed a bill making this specific type of video material, otherwise known as Crush P, illegal, so thankfully these 2 were arrested. But Brent Justice, after the trial, was actually sentenced to 50 years in prison. However, Ashley, the woman who actually carried out these acts on camera, was only sentenced to 10 years in prison, which is just insane. This case is absolutely sickening, and both of these people definitely deserve life sentences. I'm usually good with true crime cases and disturbing stuff, but when it comes to animal cruelty, it just hits different and more shocking, honestly. This is just crazy, and I can't believe people actually do this.
Mujer, Casos de la Vida Real. And for those who don't know what that is, it's basically like a show back in the day where the main host, she would get stories sent into her and real life stories. But this specific one is called El Último Vals. This episode starts off at 100% already. The dad barges in with the daughter, throws her on the ground and starts calling her names, slurs and shit like that, because he's mad the fact that she was talking to the boys, calling her like a slut. I'll hang you on the tree so everybody can see what a slut deserves.
Por Dios, Nicolás, déjala. A la hora que se embarace este escuincle estúpida la mato. Y te vuelvo a ver en la calle y te cuelgo del árbol de la esquina para que todos en la cuadra sepan lo que merece una maldita ramera.
Episode goes on, and then the daughter basically says that she has a crush and wants the crush to go to her quinceañera. But then she's like, you know what? Honestly, I'm rethinking this whole quinceañera thing. I don't want it no more. All I want to do is just die. Yeah, like, and there's also a part of the episode where dad barges in again, excited. I just got this opportunity to cross the border. He leaves. The mom and the daughter kind of relieved, like, yo, we can finally make the quinceañera happen. As the dance is going on, she's dancing with her crush. The dad comes back, makes a huge ass scene. The mom and dad start fighting, and in the background you see the daughter leave the house with a rope. It goes back to the scene of the mom and dad. The crush barges into the house and says that the daughter hung herself on the tree. In the episode, you see the actual body and shit.
Yo, bro.
The fact that they actually show that shit,
yeah, on TV. I'll forever say, bro, that show is just
so dark.
But de la vida real, bro.
So we all know, especially if you live in certain parts of the world, to close your blinds at night when it starts to get dark. But what if anytime you or someone in your house forgot to close those blinds, those curtains, whatever, you saw a woman staring in your window every single night? That is exactly what one of our followers is going through, so let's get into it. This story takes place in South Texas. Our follower grew up on a farm with their parents until they were around 11, and then they moved in with their grandparents not too far away. Their home was actually a barn that was converted into a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. Can we just take a minute and talk about how pretty houses that have been converted from barns and churches are? Every single night, our follower could not be in their bedroom or their brother's because the energy was just not right. So every single night, they would sleep on the couch in the living room. As soon as the sun started setting each night, their anxiety started setting in, and it did not go away until the sun came back up. And if they or their parents forgot to shut that blind or curtain in the living room every single night, they saw that woman peeking in through the window. And if it wasn't her, there was also a little boy that would run around the house and hide in the shadows and just peep around corners. Now, Like I said, when they were 11, they moved out and moved in with their grandparents, and their grandparents' house came with its own stuff. But on top of this, they kept seeing the woman peering in their window if the curtains weren't closed. This house was really creepy because they would hear like loud chattering at night coming from the living room, and they would walk in there being like, why are my grandparents awake so late? And it would be dark and quiet. They would also hear something walking up and down the hallway, and then while they were hearing this, their bedroom door would slowly open, but nothing would be there, at least that they could see. And it was not just our follower that had experiences. Everyone else in the family did as well. What the heck is going on this farm, y'all?
Have you heard about the man who vanished mid-flight? And of course you know that's what this week's episode is about. So in 1928, Alfred Lowenstein was on a small plane heading from London to Brussels. When about halfway through the flight, he gets up out of one of these seats and heads towards the back to the bathroom. Eventually, he's back there for so long that someone gets up to go check on him. Except when he gets back there, Alfred's not in the bathroom. And the only sign he had even been there was his tie, which was on the floor. The man looked around and saw that Alfred was not on the plane anymore at all. To better understand what could have happened, we need to look at the layout of the plane. So this back of the plane is separated from the rest of the plane by a door that closes. And if we look at it even closer, you'll see that here on the left is the bathroom, but here on the right is the door to the outside of the plane. And when the man went to go check on Alfred, he said that this door was unlatched. There are so many theories as to what happened to Alfred. Did he accidentally go through the wrong door? Was he pushed out of the plane? He was the third richest man in the world at the time. Did he orchestrate his own disappearance? We are doing a full deep dive on this story this week on the pod, and I'm doing it with Murder with My Husband, so you don't want to miss it.
In 1988, Tennessee policeman Gary Dockery was shot in the forehead by his drunken assailant after responding to a false domestic disturbance call. This caused him to slip into what the doctors called a persistent vegetative state where he was unable to communicate except with occasional eye blinks and groans. This lasted for about 8 years until one day he suddenly woke up and started talking enthusiastically, even recalling memories and events from before his coma. He remembered everything from his past and was even able to reminisce about the camping trips he used to go on, the green Jeep he used to drive, and even his horses. He also got to tell his 12 and 20-year-old sons how much he loved them. But, unfortunately, this miracle was short-lived. After being awake for about 18 hours, he slipped back into a coma and never woke back up. This is an example of what's called terminal lucidity, which refers to a mental clarity and a working memory some patients experience shortly before death. Gary's story is one of the most baffling cases of coma recovery ever recorded, and no one truly knows how or why he spoke after so long.
This has to be what went through their minds when they saw the devil in this abode so below.
My lover broke my heart, so I ate his. When I was alive, I was amazingly beautiful. I could have any man I wanted, but for some reason I was always attracted to the bad boys. That's why I fell for Kyle. He was forbidden fruit since he was already married. We eventually fell in love. He told me that I was the one for him, and that he would leave his wife for me, but he never did. I finally told him that if he wouldn't tell her that I would. This sent Kyle into a rage. He took my life and buried me in the woods behind his house. But I wasn't finished with him. He was mine. I would have his heart. This brought me back from the dead. Late one night, I crawled from my shallow grave and walked into Kyle's backyard. I could see him in the window watching TV. He was the only one home. I started to sing our song. This caught his attention, and he walked into the dark backyard. I'll never forget his face when he saw me. The terror, the fear. I pounced on him and slowly dug my fingers into his chest until my whole hand was inside him. I gripped his heart and pulled it out. I watched his eyes as I ate his heart. Now he is mine forever.
Through the corridors, but nothing prepared him for what he saw next. With a deep breath, he opened the door. A massive predator chained to the wall was staring straight into Mike's soul. He quickly took some photos with his iPhone 19. Without a second thought, he sprinted back up the stairs and out of the facility, not stopping until he was safely back in his car. He uploaded photos just this morning.
If you see this, run as fast as you can. Indeed, it's frightening. However, this scenario could potentially unfold in your life too. Before revealing the remainder of the video, I can only protect those who will comment, share, and watch the video until the end. Emily, an ordinary girl leading a regular life, saw her world change when her neighbors mysteriously vanished. Following this, peculiar occurrences began to unfold. To ensure her safety, given the suspicion of her neighbor's abduction, Emily strategically placed security cameras throughout her home and garden. While hanging her laundry one day, a particular figure appeared in the crack of her fence, captured on camera. But the most unsettling part was yet to unfold. This entity appeared to be shadowing her, as evident during her dance competition practice. Upon close inspection, something ominous is discernible in the background. Then, the ominous day arrived. Though the connection between her situation and her neighbor's deaths is a chilling speculation, one fact remains certain. The camera footage is chillingly terrifying. The events that unfolded next remain shrouded in mystery. On that fateful day, Emily vanished, and she was never heard from again.
This short horror film just scared the shit out of me. I was literally not prepared to be this afraid by this film. My name's Ricky, I love horror movies, and this is Portrait of God. This is a 7-minute short horror film that you can watch for free on YouTube right now, and this movie filled me with a fear I haven't felt since Skinamarink. We follow what I believe is a film student as she's practicing her narration over a short film that she is making. Her short film is about an image, a blank image where people claim they can see the likeness of God, but she can't see it herself. We can tell that she's a religious person and she is upset that other people can see this, but she cannot, until she starts to see something. And that's where this film gets terrifying. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but holy Christ, this is very unsettling. This is a very good example of how you can have a very simple idea but create a very effective, very chilling short story. One that I hope I can pull off with my film. It's dark, it's moody, it's tense. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to ruin it, but there are some makeup and character designs in this that is very, very good for a short film. But I was gripped from start to end. If you got a spare 10 minutes, go check this out right now. Wear some headphones, sit in a dark room. This is really good.
If you see a kangaroo in the water, run away. Kangaroos have a very dark and creepy side. For example, this is a kangaroo waiting patiently for you to drown in the water. This is the dark side of kangaroos. First of all, male kangaroos are very muscular. They look a bit like humans capable of killing you in a bloody boxing match. Males can fight violently to establish dominance and gain access to females. Their fighting involves punches and powerful kicks, which can cause serious injury. Interactions between humans and kangaroos are often impressive. But it's not the creepiest thing. Believe me. Kangaroos have a vicious way of luring their victims. For example, when chased by dingoes, they'll run to the nearest waterhole and position themselves in the water at arm's length. Then they'll stand straight and still, staring balefully at their opponent, waiting for them to come and get them. The dingo will then dive into the water, and the kangaroo can drown him. And here's a man who saved his dog from a kangaroo.
I got my dog.
I said I'd make a review of this film, and this is it. This is one of the worst sequels I've ever seen in a really long time. This movie had no sense. The story was kind of up and down, left and right. Maybe I have to watch it again, but I honestly felt like there was a lot of unanswered questions, and also it just wasn't a good movie. Like literally.